In this short chapter, we're going to look at the String Builder class. The String Builder class is provided as a way to perform string operations in a more efficient manner when you're working with either long strings or many string operations at once. For example, a large number of string concatenations that have to be performed one after another. In those situations, the String Builder class is more efficient than the string class because with a string variable, every time you make a change to it, you're making a copy into a new variable. In other words, in Java, strings are immutable, whereas with the String Builder class, you build one object and think of it like an array. And every time you either append or concatenate new strings onto the current string, you're simply modifying the contents of an array rather than creating a new copy of a variable. So in this first lesson, I'm going to demonstrate why strings are inefficient and why string builder objects are more efficient. So let's start off by looking at the file we're going to work with. What we're going to do is we're going to build a string out of a file of words. So let's see if I can get that up here. There's our string of words, or our file of words, just a bunch of animals. And what we're going to do is we're going to build a comma-delimited list, or a comma-delimited string out of these animal names. So let's get started with the program. So we're going to call it stringconcat.java. Let me get my screen into place and adjust it just a bit here. There we go. So we start off, we need to import a couple of things. So we need java io.star and import java util.star. And we'll get the program started. First of all, we need a buffered reader object for our file. Then we need a couple of string variables, word and words. Let's initialize them to empty string. We need the file to open. There's our file. Then we need some variables to keep track of the time it takes to do both types of concatenation, both with the string and with the string builder object. So we need start time, stop time, and duration. And we also need to initialize those. Now we're ready to begin. So because we're reading from a file, we have to put that in a try-catch. So the first thing we do is we associate our buffered reader object with the actual file. Then we start our time by getting the current time in nanoseconds. Then we write our loop that reads the file. To build our string, we take the word that we read with readline and concatenate a comma to the end of it. We're not really interested in the string, we're just interested in the time it takes to build the string. Then we get the time again when we're finished, and then our duration is equal to our stop time minus our start time. And then our catch, and we'll just print out a toString of the exception. If we have one, we're not going to have one here. And then let's display the time to concatenate using a string. And then let's stop the program so we can see how long that takes. So we'll save the file, go back to our command prompt window, compile, and then run it. And we see it takes 6,305,689 nanoseconds to concatenate that string of animal names. So let's go back to the program, and then we're going to add into our program by reinitializing start time and stop time and duration. Then we're going to create our string builder object. We'll call it SB words, and then we just call the default constructor for the String Builder class. In the next lesson, I'm going to describe the String Builder class in more detail. This is just to give you an idea of why it's important to have it. And here we're going to have the very same program as we had above. The only difference is we're going to append to our String Builder object in just a minute. Right here. So that's how we concatenate. We don't really concatenate. We use the append method of our String Builder object. Then we're finished. So we get the stop time. Then we compute the duration. Add our catch in real quick. And then display the time. Make sure we have our two closing curly braces still in place, and we do. So we'll save the file. Go back to our command prompt window. Clear the screen. Compile. And then run. All right, so this time it took almost 2.5 million nanoseconds to concatenate, and it takes 872,318 nanoseconds to append. So you can see clearly that appending with String Builder is faster than concatenating with string. So for operations such as the one we're performing there, it's clear that the String Builder class is preferred over working with just plain old strings. So now we're ready to move to the next lesson where we're going to look at the String Builder class in more detail.